Good afternoon. Today we're going to convert a map file in a format we call EM into SEMI E142. Here's the map files that we've been provided, and if you'd like to see what they look like, you can have a quick look there. You see there's a small header, and then it's simply followed by the various bin codes where the dot is null, 0 is likely a fail, and 1 is likely a pass. Let's start the conversion. First we're going to browse. Let's pick the first guy, F0. We have to tell the program what kind of map file this is. Currently the program supports these three map files. This is an EM map. Now let's select the output. I can call it anything I want. Let me just call it 0.xml. Alright, and right now the only output choice is SEMI E142. Once we define those things, we can click Convert. And before the conversion actually starts, we have to fill in some things. These ones in red are mandatory. So a layout ID, and I could either use the lot number or I could use something like, say, F0. That'll identify that. There was no information about units, so we can use any units we want, and I'll use millimeters. And then on the output we're going to have ASCII. We call the map name sort grade because we have no specific map name, and the null bin will stay dot. Now we will click on advanced and we'll be able to enter more information. This information generally is quite useful because the machine receiving this data needs to know, for example, how far to step between die, and that information was not in the input. I'm going to assume this is a 300 millimeter wafer. I don't know the product ID, so I'll just call it unknown. And in the lot ID, I'm going to take from this number, this whole line here, and drop that into lot ID. I think the step size is 13738. Other size is 1.6425. And clearly this doesn't come from the map file, it comes from some separate piece of information. Let's look at what else we have. The flat location's on the bottom. And our origin, where we define the references, is in the upper left. The axis direction is down and right. Okay, and the program found these two guys by scanning the data and looking for any bins marked R. And there was two of them at this location and this location. Now that we've got everything filled in, we can just click OK. OK here. And we're done. And you see now that the FO XML is 47 kilobytes. So let's look at that. SEMI E142 always starts with a little header here that describes the format that follows. Then there's a layout section that describes the wafer and its size, and then a child layout which is going to be our device, and it describes the array count and the size there. Now we come to the substrate section. We just gave our substrate an ID of that. There's our lot ID. There's the good devices. Now we come down to the map information, giving the substrate ID the same as the lot ID. Orientation 0, that's the location of the flat. Our origin location, the axes increasing Y and X. Here's the actual map. We define our two reference devices. Then we define our bin code. And then we just come into the bin code data. And here you can see one of the reference devices. So that's our conversion. Thank you very much.